Welcome to Heart Niagara's virtual bike rodeo. Throughout this video, you will learn important skills that will help you cycle safely and with confidence. Did you know that the three major causes of collision when riding a bike are exiting a driveway without stopping, not stopping at a stop sign, and swerving or turning without checking your surroundings? During this bike rodeo, we will teach you the skills needed to prevent these collisions from happening. We will also be learning about the anatomy of a bicycle, helmet safety, helmet fit, bike fit, ABC quick check rules of the road, traffic safety, signaling, and all the benefits that you can receive from cycling. Let's build a bicycle and go over some of the most important parts. This is the frame and crossbar. To attach our wheels to the frame, we have the front fork and the seat stay. Our wheels have a tire, a rim, a tire valve stem, spokes, and a hub. Next, we have a drivetrain, which includes the crank, the pedal, chain wheel, rear cog, front and rear derailleurs. The bike seat, sometimes it's also called the saddle. Here are the handlebars, which have brake levers to help you stop your bike. The rest of the bike brake system includes the brake cables to the front brake and the rear brake. Throughout our bike rodeo, we are going to refer back to many parts of our bicycles. So it's important to know what they are and where to find them. Before you start your ride, what will you need to make sure you are safe on your bike? You will need a bicycle in good operating condition and a certified bicycle helmet, closed-toed shoes, cycling appropriate clothing, and a water bottle. Make sure that your shoelaces are tied short and that if you are wearing loose-fitting pants, to tuck them into your socks to avoid getting them caught in the chain. Your bike must have a bell or a horn, a front white light, a red rear light reflector, white reflective tape on the front forks, red reflective tape on the rear of the bike. Example, the stays. And a working rear brake. This equipment is required by law in Ontario. Wearing a helmet is the law in Ontario for all cyclists under the age of 18, as it can help prevent injuries and fatalities in the event of a fall or a collision. Let's have a look at your helmet to make sure it is safe. There should be no cracks or compressions on the shell or the styrofoam. If your helmet has been in a collision, it is important to replace it, as damage might not always be visible. The helmet should have a safety standard sticker that shows it has been approved by a recognized testing agency. There should also be a sticker inside the helmet that shows the date the helmet was manufactured. The helmet should have been manufactured within the last 5 years. After 5 years, the styrofoam begins to break down and may not provide the same protection in the event of a collision. After you have checked over your helmet, it's time to try it on. First, check that there are no twists in the helmet straps. Then position the helmet on your head with the chin strap done up. To make sure your helmet fits correctly, we will be following the 2-4-1 helmet fit salute. 2 fingers above your eyebrows should touch the bottom of the helmet. 4 fingers to make a V shape around the bottom of your ears to make sure the side strap adjustments fit correctly just below the ears. 1 finger under the strap below your chin to check for tightness. You should be able to undo your chin strap, turn your head upside down, and shake your head lightly without the helmet coming off. Now that we've checked over your helmet and made sure it fits properly, it's time to ensure that your bike fits properly too. Straddle the frame of your bike. You should be able to have both feet flat on the ground with the crossbar 1 to 2 inches from you. To make sure your seat height is correct, your knees should be slightly bent when you are positioned on the saddle with your foot on the pedal in the full downstroke. Adjusting your seat is as simple as undoing the quick release and lifting or dropping the seat to the proper height. To make sure your handlebars are at the correct height when riding, your hands should be able to rest lightly on the handlebars and your weight should be balanced on the bike. The ABC Quick Check is an important checklist to go through each time you ride your bike. A is for air. Tires should not be worn out, be inflated, and the tire valve stems should be at right angles. The wheels should be able to spin without wobble, and the spokes should be tight. B is for bars and brakes. Your handlebars should be able to turn, but not without moving the front wheel. When you squeeze your left brake lever, which is your front brake, the front wheel should lock up and the back of the bike should pop up. When you squeeze your right brake lever, which is your rear brake, the back wheel should lock up and stop spinning. Also, check to make sure that there is no damage on your brake cables and the brake pads have no excessive wear and are positioned to put pressure on the tire rim and not the tire rubber. C is for crank and chain. Check the crank to make sure that it does not wiggle. Rotate your pedals backwards to make sure that they spin freely. Lastly, check that your chain is clean, oiled, and able to move freely. Quick is for quick release. If your bike has a quick release, it will be located on the hub and the seat post. Make sure the quick releases are closed tightly. Check is for doing one last check over your bike. Hold the bike upright and drop it from 1 to 2 inches above the ground. Listen for any loose parts. By completing this checklist regularly, you will keep your bike in good shape and it will help prevent falls and incidents. The virtual bike rodeo. Now that we have checked over our bikes and ourselves, it's time to review how to ride our bike safely alongside traffic. Setting up the bike rodeo. The straight line riding station. You will need a distance of 60 feet or 18 meters to ride down a painted line while keeping the front wheel within 3 inches on either side of the line. By practicing this skill, you will be able to build balance, control, and steering while on the bike. Before moving to the next station, we will stop, brake, and then go. Doing a quick shoulder check to see who is approaching behind you before turning is very important. Practice shoulder checks on your left side and your right side to make sure that you are able to stay balanced on your bike. Before moving to the next station, we will stop, brake, and then go. Signaling helps us to communicate with others to tell them where we are going. Here is the left-hand signal to indicate that we are turning left. Here is the right-hand signal to indicate we are turning right. Here is the stop signal to indicate that we are going to stop. These signals are used by all road users, including drivers and pedestrians. It's important to communicate to other road users to prevent collisions from occurring. Before moving to the next station, we will stop, brake, and then go. It is important to be able to recognize a hazard and be able to avoid it quickly and safely. To set up the rock dodge station, we will need to create hazards, such as tennis balls cut in half. The rock dodge station will help us recognize a hazard and avoid it, while maintaining our balance.
You make a quick, sharp flick out and back of the front wheel, left or right, just before the hazard. You don't move your upper body and you keep your body in a straight line while avoiding the hazard.
It is very important to be aware of hazards on the road to prevent falls, collisions, and damage to you or your bicycle. The Serpentine Station will give you an opportunity to ride your bike around a hazard while keeping balance and steering. To set up the Serpentine Station, you will need 40 feet or 12 meters of space with hazards placed at equal distances apart. This skill is very helpful when avoiding hazards on the road, such as potholes or parked cars. Our last station is turning, which is helpful to practice when turning corners or riding along a curved bike path. To set up this station, you will need 32 feet or 10 meters, with a marker placed at the halfway point. This is an important skill to practice to remain balanced and in control when navigating a turn. Some other traffic safety tips to remember are, when crossing a street in a pedestrian crosswalk, never ride your bike. Make sure to stop, get off your bike, look both ways, and walk it across the street. Remember to follow all signs and signals. When riding on the street, keep at least 1 meter distance away from the curbs. To make sure you are visible, ride in the same direction as traffic, follow all traffic signs, and make sure to look both ways before entering into an intersection. When cycling in traffic, it is important to be aware of your surroundings. Although you may think that you are visible to all drivers, you may be in a blind spot, especially in regards to large trucks and buses. Be sure you stay well back from these large road vehicles and never pass a vehicle on the right when it's signaling to go right. By making sure you have the proper reflectors on your bike, you are following the rules of the road, and you are riding in traffic safely, you can greatly reduce your risk of a collision. Here are some links to other resources to help you on your cycling journey. Remember to remain a safe distance away from others, and if you are experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19, to not leave your private residence.